Skyrockets. They're not working.
Well, mine's not on.
Turn these bitches on.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Skyrockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Welcome to our karaoke. Hi. How are ya? How are you doing? We're here.
If you were
we're
a car,
alive.
what car would you be, do you think?
Maserati.
No hesitation. I think I'd be like a Honda Civic.
You be a Jeep.
Really?
Practical.
I love that.
Reliable.
Reliable, tall, off the ground.
Tall.
Yeah. Could
I
seat
would
four.
be
Could store your lumber in the back.
BMW constantly breaking down on the freeway.
Yeah, you could stick the wood
I've
in
already
the back.
had like 10 mental breakdowns on the freeway already.
You do break down. BMWs, yeah, and they're high maintenance too.
They're very. That's me.
That is you.
What more do we need to say?
All right.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today, we're just gonna get right into it. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about diet culture.
Diet culture. So if you ever have felt obese, like you will never compare it to Angelina Jolie, and you can't keep the weight off, that's true.
If you've
And we're here
ever
to tell you it's okay.
told your roommates to not let you eat any more sugar and then been found with chocolate on your face at 2 a.m. when you're in the cupboard getting mini crunch bars out of the old Halloween bag,
This is getting really specific.
then this episode's for you.
Oh my god, did you ever hoard Halloween candy as a kid?
Yeah.
No, I would like save it.
Yeah.
I would, because my mom was
Actually,
such
no,
an
I
almond
didn't.
mom.
I was such a fatty.
No, my mom was such an almond mom. I would like savor it, and so I would make my Halloween candy last months.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I would like stash it, and I would like
Wow,
I would have it.
that's why you're a saver and I'm a spender.
I would have it through to like December. I was like, this has to hold.
No,
me
I would
over.
eat it all in one night,
I would do like a piece a day.
which is still what I do.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. They probably
So
got ants.
I eat chocolate. We'll just get right into it. I eat chocolate every single day.
Yeah, I mean, do
If
you
you
struggle
know
with
me-
diet? Do you feel like?
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
But I just want to say, if you know me, you know that I have to have chocolate at least once a day to be happy.
Yeah, but like also, you're just not a human being if you don't like chocolate. Like,
No, but I
I think
need
that's a universal experience.
something sweet.
A little sweet treat.
Because if I don't, I will end up with Crunch Bar chocolate all over my face at 2 a.m. from the Halloween bag. So,
Listen, you gotta do what you
which
gotta
is
do.
what happened in college.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everything in moderation. What
Yeah.
do you have to say about it? How do you want to start this?
I mean, I don't know. I, as someone who has always been rail thin and skinny, have never really struggled honestly with diet. That being said, one thing for me that's difficult is like I struggle to put on weight. To put on weight. Which sounds like, oh, blah blah blah, fuck you, like annoying.
Yeah.
But like when you actually want to gain muscle and like become a man, that's difficult. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I think I am hitting an age too where my metabolism is starting to slow down. So maybe I'm about to turn the corner
for
on
sure.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've realized at the end of the day too, like you feel better when, or at least I feel better when I make healthier choices. Like you just have more energy, your body looks better, your skin looks better.
Yeah, but also, I don't know about you, but I've already gone through all the fad diets, all the like cleanses.
Well, that's the thing. They don't work.
And it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
And people will be like, I just need to do a juice cleanse now. Like, we should do it together. I'm like, no.
You have to be
No,
so disciplined. Listen,
I can't
if you're
cut
doing
anything out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you're doing a juice cleanse to like reset your system, okay. But if you're doing it to like lose weight and like it's gonna be like a prolonged thing, I don't see
It's not
how
going
that
to
benefits
last.
anyone. And they've
It's
done
not going to
research
last.
that shows like any like fad diet, like keto, all those diets that are like really intensive for like a month and then you go off of it, don't work.
Because
it works for the month.
Your body...
But then you return to your same habits. You have to find balance.
Yes, your body is constantly working to take care of you and like keep you comfortable and keep you safe.
Yeah.
So if your body feels like it is in starvation mode and it needs more nutrients, then it will like your prefrontal cortex will turn off a little bit and be like, I'm gonna eat this entire hamburger because I'm so hungry and I haven't had a carb in 2 months.
Yeah.
like once that little shred of like self-control is given up.
Yeah. Which we've all been there.
Yeah. So they don't work, I've found in my experience. And that's why I was talking about that Crunch Bar that situation I had.
Yeah.
Way back in college was because that was one time that I tried to cut everything out. And I cut out sugar, I cut out like carbs, and I was like, I'm gonna lose weight, like I'm gonna cut out all this stuff, go cold turkey. And guess what? My roommates shamefully found me in the pantry at 3 a.m. So
exposed.
It doesn't work, and
Yeah.
I've tried to do it multiple times, and I always end up binging.
Yeah.
I think I had like a restrict binge cycle for a long time. People with OCD especially have
Get
this
stuck
because
in
they
that.
become obsessed with like cleansing and being serious and like
I
cutting
definitely do
everything out.
that. Unintentionally, like intermittently fast.
Yeah.
Because I'll have a day or two where I eat everything in sight, and then I have such like guilt about it.
Yeah.
Where I don't eat for like 2 days.
Do you ever like lay awake at night? Oops.
Not the door slamming.
Do you ever lay awake at night and like think about all the things you ate that day and just feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
shame?
Yeah, of course.
So fucked up. Like,
Or
you're
you,
just
like-
trying to feed your body.
You like retroactively
Nourish it.
try to like counteract the like donut you had earlier by having just salad for the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
Yeah.
You're like,
I actually
for dinner
think
I'll have a
that's
celery
good.
stick.
I actually think that
I
is
mean,
a good balance.
it's something, but like it doesn't change the past. Like,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't feel the need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're giving your body the nutrients it needs,
Yeah.
but you also shouldn't like shame yourself into eating vegetables. I think the key to success is finding foods that fuel your body
That
that
you
you
like.
enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah. So say you hate vegetables, but you really like roasted carrots. That's great. You don't have to like all of them. Just focus on the
keep
things
eating
that
your
you like.
carrots.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I
Because you're
fucking
still
hate
gonna get
carrots,
those
so I never eat
nutrients.
carrots.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like there's always a way around eating healthy to make it work for you. And I
You
think
have
it's
to
just
make it work
about
for
finding
you.
the right combination.
Like, I used to try to force myself to eat, like, salads and, like, no dressing and all vegetables, and
Yeah.
it was miserable. And now, if you know me, you know I fucking love my taco bowls because I feel like I'm eating this delicious comfort meal, but it's really, I've kind of created this taco bowl that is really high in protein
Yeah.
and with avocado that's, like, good fats, and it's something I enjoy eating that I know is, like, has a lot of nutrients and is good for me and will fill me up. And if I just keep eating that consistently, then I feel a lot better. But you also have to let yourself have the in and out sometimes. You have to let yourself
Completely.
have the ice cream, because if you just cut all of those really delicious like sweet treats and decadent things out, then you're gonna crave them, you're gonna want
Yeah.
them, and you're gonna end up binging.
Well, that's like, I mean, my cousin Shaylin actually taught me this because she went to school for kinesiology, and like she has like taken classes on dietitianary stuff, and she's just very familiar with like healthy eating practices and stuff. And she kind of says if you are craving something, say you want
Have
a
it.
cookie, have like a little cookie or have half the cookie. You know what I mean? You don't have to go crazy. But if you are like, no, instead I'm gonna have an apple because that's healthier.
Then guess what? You're gonna want that cookie all
You're still gonna want that
day.
cookie because you didn't scratch the itch, and so then you're gonna have an apple and you're like, oh, well, I still am hungry because I didn't get my craving satisfied.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have peanut butter and celery instead. Then I'll also maybe have a few cheese slices after that because you still aren't getting what you really want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you end up having the cookie in the end after you eat all that other stuff. So you just added like.
Cravings are
all
a good
these
thing.
things.
Cravings, when it comes to food, that means that you need that nutrients. That is your body's way of telling you you
Yeah.
need that nutrients. And I'm not a dietitian, Ethan's not a dietitian, so
Yeah.
take all of this with a grain of salt, but this is just from our experience. But yeah, I agree. So I had this situationship, and he was like, how do you stay so thin? And I was like, well, first of all,
Yeah. Body dysmorphia.
good liar, but
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, oh, how do you stay so thin? Like, do you not eat desserts or whatever? I was like, I eat dessert every day.
Yeah.
I eat dessert every day and I'll have as much as I want until I'm like, oh, I'm full, or like that's enough sweetness for me, rather than being like, oh, I'm only gonna have one spoonful of this ice cream and I'm gonna be really good, because then you're like, ooh, it becomes forbidden, and then you're like, ooh, I want another spoonful, and then I want another one, and then I want another one. Whereas if you're like, I'm gonna eat this until I feel satisfied, that is a much better method I've found than trying to restrict and then ending up making it a forbidden fruit.
Yeah. Well, like, for me too, I think it's important to kind of know your boundaries. Like, I love like a cookie or anything like that, and I do, like, I used to not have as much of a sweet tooth, but I think honestly the more time we've spent together,
I have the biggest
you have
sweet
rubbed
tooth
off on me, because I like crave sugar. But I like can't have sugar in the house. Like, if I have it there, I will eat it. So for me, it's only like if I'm out, maybe I'll get a little something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was talking about with the ice cream.
I like I'll get like a protein bar or something that has like chocolate chips in it for home.
Yeah.
So that if I am wanting something like a little sweet, then I'm getting that. Yeah. But like, if I have like a cake in the fridge, like, of course you're gonna have that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, so you just like remove the temptation, and I think for me that's kind of the most effective thing. Is because then it's like you don't even have access.
I think the best advice I've gotten about this is like, don't keep anything in your house that you can't have self-discipline with. Yeah. Like, I have dark chocolate peanut butter cups in my pantry, which are delicious, but they're so rich that I'm not going to eat like 100 of them because they're just so rich.
Relate. I would eat so many.
But if I have caramel corn, that bag's gone in one day.
Yeah.
That bag is gone. Yeah. So I can't keep caramel corn in my house, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to treat myself when I'm out, because this is also really good advice I've gotten is when you're out and you want the ice cream, savor that ice cream. Like, get the waffle cone, get the sprinkles, savor it.
Yeah, go big.
And then you're like not gonna want ice cream for a while because you're like, oh, that was so good, and I really enjoyed it, and I got that itch scratched. Yeah. And for the next couple of days, you're gonna be like, I just had like a huge thing of ice cream. I'm good. Like,
that's true.
Rather than having a tiny teaspoon just to taste.
Yeah.
Like.
That's I've really never related to that, because there are people who do that.
Oh, my college roommate, she would eat half of Oreos and then leave the other half in
That's psychotic.
In the thing.
That is psycho.
Culture, yeah.
What is your like guilty pleasure? Like, you go into, you can get anything you want. Anything you want. Candy, baked goods. What is like your guilty pleasure last meal for sweets?
Ice cream. I've talked about it like 20 times on this episode.
Really? I don't live it. For me, it's definitely more like a cookie. Like, I love like a fresh baked cookie.
A good cookie. I think my dessert of choice that I am obsessed with, and I tried to make a healthy version of it for a while because I love it so much, but then I just ended up eating so much of the healthy version that it was like, it didn't even matter that it was healthy.
What was it?
It was like the almond flour brownies with vanilla ice cream.
Those are good.
But I got the really low calorie shit, but I would eat so much that it was like really high calories because I ate the whole
Well, you're like, I cut all the calories in half, so like I have one of these and it's fine.
Yeah,
but I can have like 4.
I can have like the whole batch in one night.
But honestly, like, that's better than having a whole tray of like full calorie brownies. You know what I mean?
But it just didn't work for me. That was one thing I couldn't control myself on, so I was like, no. But when I do go out, like, hot brownies with vanilla ice cream.
A hot brownie is good.
Oh.
It is good.
That
Do you like the brownies that are like on the edge of the pan that are kind of crunchy, or the ones in the middle that are all gooey?
The gooey ones.
Same.
I'm the bitch that would eat the fat off of bacon.
That is rotten. That was like, no one asked you for that information.
No, but like, I was such a fat child that the fattier
you would only eat the fat?
The fattier and gooier something is, the more I want it.
Well, here I am.
Gross.
No, that is gross. That is so rotten. I was always avoid the fat. Like, I was the kid where it's like, if I had like a chicken leg, I'd pull the skin off.
Ethan would like snack on lettuce leaves, and I was like, what the fuck?
I had an
Me over here with my hot dog with the mayonnaise on it, I was like...
My mother used to give me Brussels sprouts. No, not Brussels sprouts. Bean sprouts. Do you remember those like long, like skinny bean sprouts?
No, I don't even know what those are.
And I'd call it crunchy water. Because I was like, oh, it's like wet and crisp.
His snack of choice was a head of lettuce with some ice water. That was
it. Was we would do like ants on a log though. Carrots and peanut butter. I'm sorry, fight me. If you're trying
Ew, that's disgusting.
No, well, you don't like carrots.
I hate
But for
carrots.
people who like carrots, if you are trying to find like healthy snacks, unless you have a peanut allergy, get into carrots and peanut butter. It is good. I'm sorry, I don't care what age you are. Carrots and peanut butter is great. What else? You can do like ants on a log. I don't live
This
for that
is
as
nasty.
much, but like.
I don't stand by this.
Do you like peanut butter?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you do? I mean, you could do like.
I would just eat it by the spoonful.
I love. Okay, well that's. I mean, it's a different thing. The whole point
You're
is to have a
putting
vegetable.
diet culture on there.
Yeah, but the whole
on
point is to
these
have a
people.
vegetable with the peanut butter. You know what I mean? Because
That's
then you're kind
unnecessary.
of. Because for me,
I
it's like
chocolate
combo
with my
it.
peanut butter. See, I'm over here like, please go eat the fucking ice cream.
Yeah, I'm trying to help them out. You're
Go
trying
eat.
to. You're trying to increase
this is
childhood
against
obesity.
diet culture. Like
Yeah.
I am not for diet culture because it creates this forbidden mindset. Like when you start combining vegetables with peanut butter, why don't you?
What
just
that's what
combine
I'm
your
saying
chocolate?
is like it's about balance.
Yeah.
Like have the best of both worlds because then you're not gonna have like heart issues. You know what I mean?
I think you just have to find what works for you. I think.
Yeah, but what works for you shouldn't be like a cheesecake a day.
I think that doesn't work for anyone because.
No, that's what it. But some people think that that is working for them.
Well, I don't think that we're one to tell people what their
No.
balance should be. But I think that a
Well,
cheesecake a day
Yeah.
does not sound good to anyone. No, anyone. Like you feel sick. I think you
Yeah.
need to recognize when what you're eating is making you feel sick
That's true.
and avoid that
Yeah, listen to your
and
body.
listen to your body
Listen to your body.
and then find things that make you feel good, make you feel energized, whatever that is. It could be half a cheesecake a day and then the rest of the day you have lettuce if that's your balance. But
Yeah.
whatever works for you. Yeah. I was going to say what you were saying earlier about being really skinny.
Yeah.
This is more about like body image than diet culture.
Yeah.
But I feel like I struggled a lot with my diet because I was so skinny at like 18. I was
Mhm.
really, really thin. I was 5'9",
Yeah.
120.
120, jeez.
Yeah, tiny. And everyone in high school used to say I had no butt and I had hardly had any boobs. I was like flat. And they would make fun of me and call me like a plank and like
They did?
cardboard. Yeah.
I was always made fun of for being skinny too.
Yeah,
Which like,
plank and cardboard.
if you grew up on the heavier side, you're probably like, oh, boo-hoo.
No, it is.
But like, you get body, you still have shame about the physicality of what
You're
you
like,
look like.
oh, I don't fill out
Yeah.
these clothes. Like these
Yeah.
clothes should be more filled out, and
Yeah.
they're not, and it looks weird on me.
Yeah.
And
You
I've had
feel
both
uncomfortable,
spectrums because
yeah.
I've also gone the other way where I like feel ginormous,
Yeah.
and it plays into like it can play into eating disorders and binge and
1,000%.
restrict. And I just didn't know what my body needed.
Yeah.
And yeah. And also your body's fluctuating so much in your early 20s. You're going from like being a child, being a teenager,
course, and-
to being an adult.
Yeah.
And now you have to learn how to like manage your adult body. It's
It's a lot. It's a lot to transition. And I promise you too, like that influencer you see, that famous actress you see that you're like, oh, she always looks amazing. She has days just like you where she feels huge or her weight fluctuates and goes
Yeah.
up and then goes down.
Margot Robbie has said she's had like
Oh,
body
yeah.
dysmorphia.
Oh yeah, like no one stays the same
Yeah.
throughout. Like no one is always 120
Oh
pounds.
yeah, I wanted
what I
to say
mean?
that too.
Like your weight can range like month to month. Like I have months where I'm like, oh my god, I would never take my shirt off, and then I have months where I'm like, I am the sexiest person.
And
alive.
that's normal. Like
Yeah.
that is life. I
It
think we've
is.
talked about this before. And I was just thinking about that because I was like, I feel a little bit heavier right now. And
Isn't that weird though? You could be the same
Everybody
exact
thinks
weight
you're
that
the
you
same,
were
yeah.
like a week ago and feel obese.
no, I'm sure from
You
the
know.
outside everyone thinks I
Oh,
look
yeah.
pretty much the same. But to
Yeah.
me, I feel like I look heavier.
Yeah.
And I was literally thinking, I was like, I should delete my dating apps because I don't want to go on any dates because I feel heavier and I'm
Yeah.
not going to feel like my best self. And then I was like, wait, why am I going to stop living because I feel
Yeah.
heavier when if anyone does notice that
Yeah.
and I'm on a date, that's not my husband. My
Yeah.
husband will love me even if I was 50 pounds heavier, 50 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
They would love me just the same because like what's on the outside doesn't
No,
matter.
someone's
as much.
affection should never be conditional based on how you look.
Yeah.
I do think there is validity in having concern for the health of people that you love and care about.
Yeah, for sure. There's
Like-
a limit. There's always a limit to it.
Yeah, and I would want to be with someone who takes care of themselves. Not only is it attractive physically, but it's attractive to know that they value themselves enough to take care of their body. You know what I mean?
And also that they can do things with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
mobility, all of that is like
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like-
a big part of relationships.
It is,
But-
I mean, yeah.
And there is a limit, but I think for the most part, it's normal. Everybody's weight fluctuates. This is normal life. Like,
Mhm.
I envy life before social media, and I remember being a kid and, like, hearing the adults in my family talk about gaining and losing weight and looking at old pictures of themselves and being like, look at how skinny I was. And it was, like, kind of, everybody wanted to be thinner, but it was more normalized that, like, yes, your weight is fluctuating
Changes,
back
yeah.
and forth.
Do you think that social media has changed that?
Whereas now everyone's expected to, like, stay the same, because I constantly see comments that are like, oh, she's gained 10 pounds. It's like, well,
Yeah,
she's
it's
probably on a
crazy.
period. Like,
Yeah.
women gain and lose
It's
5 pounds
wild.
every single month
Yeah.
on their periods. So
No, it is crazy.
educate yourself.
But also, like, I think because of social media, we have this expectation that people will always look the same. And yeah, just like people feeling that they have the right to like comment on someone else's body. Like, you don't need to say that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
even when like people compliment, like, oh, you look great, or like, oh, you've lost so much weight.
You've lost weight, it's not a
It's
compliment.
not really. I mean, sure,
It's
it's
not a
nice to
compliment.
hear if
And you know
like
what?
you've discussed with that person that was a personal goal of yours
Mhm.
and you're in better health. But you could also be like, oh, you look so much happier. Like, you look great. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't have to make it about their weight, their body, their size, any of that. You know what I mean?
And also, what's also dangerous about saying that is you
Mhm.
don't know how that person
Happened.
lost
Yeah,
the weight. It
yeah.
could have been they lost a loved one and
Yeah.
they haven't been able to eat.
I was talking about
So-
this the other day with a friend, and it's like, you always lose, or at least I always lose weight when I'm in like periods of depression. Like, I'm always at my like skinniest. And
Yeah, me too.
it's weird because you don't appreciate it when you're sad. You know what I mean? But it's also like, it's not really like a good skinny or sad because like you're skinny because you're unhappy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's funny how, like, when you're
And
living.
people praise it.
Yeah. And people praise like misery.
Yeah.
It is funny how when you're happy and you're like going out a lot and going to eat out with your friends
Yeah.
and you're like living your best life, you're probably gonna gain some weight because you're eating good food,
Yeah.
you're enjoying life,
Yeah.
and the happier you are, you might gain some weight, and then you're like put down
Yeah.
for gaining weight even though you're living your best life.
Well, yeah,
So-
hopefully. I do think some people use food and going out, drinking, all of that as like a crutch to avoid certain things. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's always the case, but I agree. Like, you should be able to go out and have fun and like gain a pound or like have splurge and have McDonald's when you're like
I
are
had
drunk with your
McDonald's
friends.
today.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel ashamed about it. If
Yeah.
that's your life, like every night of the week, I would say like, you know, try to mix it up, like squeeze in a hike or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like whatever it is that you enjoy that is taking care of your body. But you know,
I think
it's
for
rough. It's
for
rough.
me, I just got so sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and that's the biggest motivator I've had for watching my diet and working out.
Yeah.
Is like
Well, you feel it
I
energy wise.
Feel
Yeah.
when I eat like crap, I feel sick.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can't keep up with every day and I can't keep up with other people. Doesn't really matter what my weight is, it fluctuates all the time,
Yeah.
whatever I'm eating. Just because of life. But when I eat things that make me feel good, I'm so much more present and able to enjoy myself. So I think that's a huge motivator I've had for like staying on top of it and paying attention to what I eat and caring about it and getting up and working out in the morning. So yeah.
Yeah, completely. Is there anything that like, I mean, it's tough because I don't know what I was gonna say.
It's tough to be so famous.
No,
it's tough
but,
to
like,
be so
It is
gorgeous.
hard. It is. I mean, what has kind of been your recipe for success? I know we've talked about like balance, all of that. Like, is there anything that you feel like you still struggle with or like would want to improve diet wise, or like it's hard. What my concern is like because we're always comparing ourselves to, I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with the social media thing, is like because you're always seeing what other people look like or like what their journey is and how they take care of themselves, even if that TikTok or whatever and it's showing their day in the life is like them eating a salad and like berries and yogurt for breakfast, that's probably not their life every day. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna
say, but it
say,
creates such shame. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like social media has, I mean, clearly it's changed body image, but like, how does that affect you, do you feel like?
Well, I mean, I've been affected like everyone, probably. You have too.
Yeah. Well, the pressures too, I feel like for women and gay men are so much more severe too.
Oh, for sure.
Because so much of your value is like rooted in what you look like.
Yeah.
And being objectified by men a lot of the time, both as a man and as a woman, is brutal. Like, you feel like you're never gonna like meet whatever the standard is, you know? And I have friends who are like gorgeous who feel that way.
Yeah.
You know?
I was just gonna say that.
I'm gonna close the door because I think the wind is going by. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that the biggest thing that's helped me has been sometimes when I look at like other women and I think that they look better than me physically, I start to like spiral out and be like, oh, I don't like this about me. I don't like this about me.
Yeah.
And I think something that's helped me is having times where I worked out a lot and I was trying to achieve that perfect physique. And yes, I did look more toned or whatever, but I was still me. I still had the same bone structure. I still had the same skin, like, and yeah, you can try to improve all those things, but the one thing that has helped me the most is to just accept that I'm me, and I'm always gonna have a lot of these features that aren't gonna go anywhere. I'm never gonna have the tiniest waist because I just wasn't born with the tiniest waist, and somebody else might have been born with a really long torso and a tiny waist, but guess what? They probably feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
They feel the exact same way, and they're looking at other people, oh, I wish I had a bigger waist so I would be more full or whatever.
There are certain things that are like out of your control.
Like, I think the one thing that has helped me the most is just accepting that I'm me, and it's kind of out of my control, a lot of it. Like, a lot of how I look is just out of my control.
Yeah.
This is just how I was born with this hair. I can't control it, and you take it or leave it, so.
That's not a wig.
It's not a wig.
I mean, we've said this kind of in several iterations on this podcast, I feel like, in a lot of episodes, is that genuinely the most attractive thing to me and what I always